go down. You feel the tension in the air. Wrestling fans all over the world, get ready for this right here. They're gonna have a field day with this one. You're about to witness Buster Unmasked. There's no telling what Buster's gonna say today. We just getting started. Just getting started! Welcome to Buster Unmasked! Hosted by Buster H.R. Johnson. This is a Buster H.R. exclusive. We are now tuned in to Buster Unmasked. We are now tuned in to Buster Unmasked. You are now tuned in to Buster Unmasked. We are now tuned in to Buster Unmasked. Welcome to Buster Unmasked. Welcome to Buster Unmasked. Buster Unmasked.
All right, y'all, we're here. We're live. You're watching Buster Unmasked, and you know we got a great show for you here today. We're not even going to waste no time promoting sponsors or anything else. Today, it's all about Legacy Pro Wrestling, bringing wrestling back to New Bern, Tennessee. It's Fight for the Light. It's going to be at the Lighthouse First Assembly of God Church this Friday night in New Bern, Tennessee. And I'm telling you what, guys, these fellas have a stacked card. We're not going to waste any time. I'm going to bring my first guest on. He is a veteran of pro wrestling his whole life. I ain't even going to count it in years. He was born in the business. He's still in the business. He is your current Legacy Pro heavyweight champion. He is Chris Rocker. And then, well, Chris Rocker is not here, so let's get the other man over there is Chris. All right, Chris, I see you making a grand entrance with that Legacy Pro title, man. Let's get your nephew.
I can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you, man.
I can't hear you.
Let me pull you out, dude, because I'm not muted. Let me make sure. Let me see what's going on. All right, Chris, I'm going to pull you down. Now let's try it. All right, can you hear me? Chris, you're going to have to check you're going to have to check.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you're going to have to check your mic.
I can't hear you.
I know that. I'm good. You're going to have to check your mic. We're gonna get Aaron on here. Look, he's the baddest man. He's the baddest man walking both sides of the Mississippi, and he is a problem for anybody who wants to step in the ring with him. I bring to you, Big Aaron Roberts.
Oh.
Aaron, can we hear you, man? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me? I'm good.
I got you good, dude. Let me ask you something. You on your phone?
Yeah.
Can we twist it so we can get a full signal? There we go.
How's that look?
All right, that's great, man. Hopefully we get Rocker on here. I don't
He's
know what
old, you know. It's hard for him sometimes.
Man, I'm old too, dude. It's hard for me, but ain't nothing on my end muted. So here he's back in. Let's see if we got him. Chris.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, let me get us adjusted and we can get on with this show.
Yes, sir.
In the right format. There we go. So everybody can see everything. All right, guys, here we are. Legacy Pro Wrestling returns to West Tennessee, and pro wrestling itself returns to New Bern, Tennessee. It's been what, 3 years now since New Bern has had wrestling? So talk to me about this, guys. Why is Legacy Pro back all of a sudden, dude?
Well, I'll jump in and start by saying because we're tired of really just not having anything to do, to be honest with you, on the weekends. I mean, yes, we do. I can work a lot. Aaron works quite a bit, but we like doing our own thing. So that's one of the main reasons. And we know that we can put on a show that is at the top or not over the top. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Aaron, you're going to have to twist or something because you're sideways on us.
Yeah, so when I twist, I go back this, like this is good.
We see you great. You're perfect for us now. You must be sideways for yourself, huh?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to work with that, man. You're gonna have to ad lib on that one, man. You're perfect for us. Aaron, I mean, all of y'all, Legacy is a family affair. Pretty much. Y'all broke Legacy out, what, 3 years ago, something like that, man. Run a
That sounds
ton of
right.
Now, it was about 4 years ago.
ran a ton of great shows, kind of took a hiatus, but there was a lot going on. Aaron, you got the WWE ID prospect deal. Chris, you got a whole nother life kind of going on now. A lot of stuff going on with everybody in the family, but now is the right time for Legacy, huh?
I believe it is because, like people has asked us or asked me, and I'm pretty sure it's the same with Aaron and Big Red and JP and, just everyone. They're asking, hey, when is Legacy coming back? When are you guys going to do a show? So why not now?
Right. So how did we end up at the first assembly, the Lighthouse First Assembly of God Church? How did we end up at a church, Rocker? Now you are. I mean, you the fabulous Rocker. How did we end up here?
Well, I will tell y'all this. What I did in the past is in my past. I've done a lot of bad things in my past, and you guys know firsthand, that I was not the greatest guy ever. But I would tell y'all this: 8 months ago, my daughter, she was actually working at the church in the daycare. And she asked me, she said, Dad, you should come check this out. And I said, Kayla, you know how I am. It's not for me. And she asked me to go. I went, my wife and I went. And, man, for 3 weeks in a row, and now, even now, sometimes, everything the pastor was preaching about for 3 weeks straight, it was coming directly at me. And I even pulled my daughter to the side and said, Kayla, did you tell the pastor anything about me? Did you tell him what I've done? And she's like, no, Dad, I didn't. And I asked my wife, I told my wife about it, and I said, Ashley, what's going on? He knows everything about me. She told me it was me being under what'd you call it? Conviction. And I was like, hey, if this man can sit and read my past and directly hit me right in the chest with it, I'm going. And, to be honest with you, that church has helped me a lot, not, like as in financials or, anything, but just to be a better person.
Right.
And the minute that I saw the opportunity to help them, I mean, and I'm spending out money to have this show. But everything that we do is going towards the church because they got a gym that, when they took over that church 3 years ago, it was not in the best shape. So they need all the help they can get to get, the gym where it needs to be and stuff like that. And it looks really good now, but, there's more stuff that needs to be done. And, like I said, anytime I can help them, you can bet that I'm going to.
Look, Kate Allen. This is Kate Allen. He said, the power of God compels, amen. And it sounds like to me the Lord's put his hands on you, Rocker. The Lord uses people as tools, and maybe he's got his hand on you and using you as a tool to help this church get the things it's need. And, man, I think it's really cool, man. We chatted just a little bit before we went live, and I told you I was kind of just like you. When I was younger, I was kind of a clean slate. I always had faith in something, but not knowing what. But as I get older, man, I feel the same way, man. I feel like a lot of times I hear scripture and stuff, and I feel like it's talking straight to me for some reason, man. I mean, to the point it'll bring tears to your eyes. because it's so accurate. So that's a great thing, dude.
I tell you, one of the things that makes me upset is back. Do you remember when we was doing DCW? Right.
Right.
I brought in Molly Holly to be on our show. She told me when I brought her in, she said, "Rocker, the only thing you got to do is go to church that Sunday with me." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I went to church with her that Sunday, and I wish I would have stayed in church every Sunday from then on.
Right. I can understand that, man. Aaron, before we get into the wrestling, man, where do you fall on this subject, dude? Where are you at in life right now? You a believer?
That's a tough question, to be honest with you. There, like you said, kind of before we got on here, there's too many situations where this shouldn't be happening, and it is happening, and it all kind of just falls in line to say there's nothing. But I think the structure of this is our belief, and you have to believe, like, you know what I mean, like the what's it called, the different types of churches and such of that.
Right.
I don't know where I fit into that kind of thing.
You know, I that's been my issue with church my whole life anyway. I learned at a very early age that you've got all these different religions, and they all kind of they all kind of have their own agenda and the way they do things. But I'll be honest with you, as I've gotten older, I've learned that you don't have to go to church every Sunday to believe in God. You don't have
Yeah.
to go to church to believe in the Lord. If there's two or more people praying at the same time, you're worshiping in the Lord's building is anywhere and everywhere.
That's right.
So you're a young man, and I was the same way, dude. One day, if you asked me at 18 years old, 1 week you might ask me, did I believe? And I might say, yeah. A week later, you might ask me that same question. And depending on what all went on that week in life, I'm like, no, But it all happens to us at different times. Me and Rocker, I feel like it's happening to us about the same time and the same age, man. Over the last few years, it's really been calling me. I hadn't made a trip to church yet, but man, it's been really calling me. I mean, I can't lie about it. It's been heavily calling me. And
Sounds
like
like it's
you
time to
said,
go.
there's too many coincidences.
Well, you know what? I know a good church that you can come to.
This
And
Friday night, 7 p.m.
you
Legacy
can be
Clover.
there. You go, and then you can come right back Sunday.
So let's talk about that. Did y'all bring the idea of running wrestling to the church, or did they come to you guys about this?
I brought the idea to the church.
So walk us through that, Rocker, because that's kind of a depending on what church and who and how they view pro wrestling, it could be a hard sell. But I mean,
Well,
y'all are in there, so how did it all play out, man? How did
the thing is once a year they have a big offering, and it's called Legacy Offering. And when I started hearing the Legacy Offering, I was like, "Hey, we run Legacy Pro, so why not put them together?" And I told them, I said, "Hey, I might not be able to tribute thousands of dollars, and like maybe some of these people can, but I can put on a show, and everything that you guys we make at the door and you guys make at the concession stand is y'all's. It goes to the church for the building fund." And we talked about it for probably, I don't know, 2 months. And then honestly, I thought they was just blowing me off, just pushing it away, just like, yeah, we'll talk about it in board meeting. We'll talk about it in board meeting. And then he actually called me and said, "Hey, it's a go on the wrestling. What day do you want to do?" And so we actually went through some dates and tried to figure out what would be the best Friday night. And here we are.
I think that's pretty cool. And Rocker and his internet, man, either he's touching something, Aaron, or he got bad internet. So let's go to you, Aaron, since Rocker keeps phasing in and out. When Rocker told you, "Hey, man, we got an opportunity to run the church," what did you think, man?
My first thought was, when are we going back? How do we make this a regular situation?
Right. Well, it sounds like it could be a once a year thing at the minimum, man. Do y'all have
Yeah.
plans above that?
Well, we're hoping that this event goes off without a hitch. It's a great time for everybody, very beneficial for everybody, and we can bring it back, you know, somewhat regularly. And if not there, as much as we're excited to run there, Legacy Pro is going to be, you know, having some shows.
Right. Well, you've been on the road out and about for the last probably year and a half, 2 years now, steady. How does it feel to be back in the running Legacy Pro again? How's that feel to you for Legacy Pro to be back on the marquee?
It's very stressful. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have high expectations, Rocker. I'll tell you, I'm very picky about things, but it's exciting. It's good. I don't. I'm not a very reach out and talk to people kind of person. I kind of just stick to myself, and if somebody will text me or call me, I'll respond. But I don't do much reaching out, and this is kind of, in a weird way, our family's way of bonding is by putting on these events, and so I'm excited. Like, except for like ugly dudes like Cordell, who, at least I've got hair on my head, you know.
Hey, hold on.
Hey,
Hold on now. I got a little circle back here that's starting to be a little thin. And I seen Rocker went on, got rid of his hairs. His forehead was way back here, so I think it was about time. But I think mine's gonna do the reverse. I think I'm gonna go bald from the back to the front, man.
As long as the wind don't blow, I've got a good hairline.
You'd be like that. You'd be like that boxer the other day who got his toupee knocked off, man. Did y'all see that?
Yeah,
no, I didn't.
Dude, it's been a couple weeks ago now, but they were in the middle of the fight. Dude hit him in the forehead, and his glove slid up his head. His toupee just peeled all the way back, man.
Wow.
Crazy, man. Crazy.
They started passing it around the audience. They were taking pictures with it.
That's great. That's great.
So look, Ed Jay's with us. He says, Rocker, did you enjoy those Titan tickets? Thank you for working that night of the benefit. Forever grateful for everyone involved.
We did enjoy those Titan tickets.
Oh, yeah.
It was cold, but hey, we had really good seats. It was really good.
Cordell says, pull that hairline back. Look, I am doing my best not to cuss. Y'all know I got the worst mouth of anybody in history, man. It's just like cuss words are part of my vocabulary. So I'm doing my best right now, guys, not to say nothing. Zach's back with us. He says, I've grown to realize the older we get, the more south the hair travels, man. Dude, man, I feel bad about it too. I had long, luxurious hair back in the day. Rocker can attest to that, man.
Yeah. You had the mullet going.
Rocker, I've been thinking about you. You need to get that clip on Paul Dangerously ponytail since you went all bald. Just put the ponytail back there.
Yeah,
man.
just the ponytail back. Well,
I think what you need to do, Buster, is you need to grow the skullet out.
Yeah.
Man, let me tell you something. I shaved my hair bald back in 2000. And look, when I was a young man, I had a nice rounded head, but after all the chair shots and stuff, man, when I shaved my head bald, my head's got creases and clumps in it, and just I don't look good bald, Aaron. I ain't going bald.
Tough, man. Buster. You look tough.
Hey, if I go completely bald, I'm either buy me a wig or I'm gonna do like Bam Bam Bigelow. I'm gonna get my whole head tattooed, man. I don't know.
There you go.
Man.
There you go.
Eric says he will. Eric says he will be at the show Friday night. And so let's talk about this. You guys have a stacked card of talent, but there's only really two matches we know about. We know about the main event match. I guess the main event is for all the legacy marvels with Rocker. You're facing off against Tim Bosby, and that's a big matchup. Is this the main event of the show?
Yes, it is the main event of the show, and I got my hands full with this one. I mean, I've heard a lot of great things about him. I don't know him, so I can't say anything about him. The only thing I'll say is, I've heard multiple times that he's won, 161 or something on top 500.
The Pro Wrestling Illustrated top 500 professional wrestlers in the world. Millions of people chasing this dream. He made it to one man's top 500.
Yeah,
Former Action Wrestling World Champion.
So just to throw that out there, you know, he made it there, but in my prime I was 138. I mean, so you know, we can.
Y'all neck and neck there, Rocker. Y'all right
Right,
there
right.
together. And I'll say this: I had Tim on the podcast. It's probably been 2 months ago, almost now. Great young man, confident, and I feel like he's got the right attitude about the wrestling business, man.
Right,
He wa-
yeah.
he wants to get out there and work, and he straight up said he already holds 2 titles. He's the Heritage Champion in Memphis. He's the Hooligans Champion, and he pretty much said he was going to walk out of New Bern Friday night, the Legacy Pro Champion too. Rocker, what's your thoughts on that, man?
Well, man, to be honest with you, if he walks out of that building with the Legacy Pro title, somebody better call the cops because he stole it. He didn't win it.
Mm.
So, Eric, where do you fall on this matchup, man? You know Tim Bosby well. Obviously, you know Rocker your whole life. So, where do you see this thing? How do you see it playing out, dude?
That's a tough one. You know, obviously that's the reason why this match is happening. Because I mean, there's 2, 3 names in this area that you can say are really doing professional wrestling right now, and Tim Bosby is one of those guys. There's been a very few people that have beat me recently, and Tim Bosby is one of those people. So I know how hard that ankle lock is. I know how hard he hits those ripcord lariats. Also know how hard that super kick is and how stiff that frog splash is. Because, you know, got to save the knees.
Right, right.
It's going to be a battle, but there's a reason why this is the main event. Because there's not, you know, probably not 2 better dudes to have a main event right now.
Well, look,
And
I got a video. Go ahead, Rocker. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the only thing that I want is I want this. I'm not gonna call him a kid like I would anybody else because I don't know him. I don't know how old he is, but I want him to come and bring 100% because I'm giving 100%.
I think Bosby, a man. Look, I talked to him a short time before the podcast, but we talked a good while after we were off air. This kid's got a good head on his shoulders, and I feel like he's always brings 100%. Look, we got a video of Bosby's. We had to mute the music because it would get me copywritten, but I think you'll still get the point. So let's check this out.
I can't wait to see Chris Rocker flying through the air like this. I've got to be honest with you.
Can you still fly, Rocker?
I can fly, but you know the thing is I know how to a lot of times land on my feet.
Like, this man is just brutalizing these dudes.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you, Chris. It's hard to fly when that ankle's sore.
you're right, but you know what? If I can go through a torn rotator cuff and still finish the match, I think whatever he can do to my ankle, I can still finish.
It's a talented dude. He's only
He,
20 years old. I think he's
he
20, maybe
yeah,
21 now.
he looks very talented and he looks very mean or
Yeah.
aggressive, I should say.
Yeah, this is a main event match anywhere. There ain't no doubt about that. I think this is a great matchup for him, and I think it's a great matchup for you because, look, here's the thing. There's very few guys around our area that's still active that has your experience. You've kind of
But
been there, done it all, and seen it all, and there's very few guys at his age, at his level, too. I'm going to say it. I like Bosby, man. I just like Bosby.
and you know it'll tell me let me know Friday night. It'll let me know if I can still go or if I need to hang my boots up. And I'm not ready to hang my boots up, so you can bet I'm going to go.
Yeah, I think that'll be a heck of a matchup, man. I do. But y'all got a stack lineup. Let me get over here and get back to some of these. Look, I've got some graphics. Like I said, there's only really 2 matches we know about. We know the Rocker Bosby match, and I know y'all got a gauntlet match that I want to talk about too.
Yeah,
a little
for
later
sure.
in the show. But I'm just gonna start pulling these graphics up. No order whatsoever. Let me get
So
us
that's a
switched
match
over.
right there, Buster. That's a match right there. Del Tucker and Big Red, two legends of the area. You know, before we were running Legacy Pro, Del Tucker was always complaining that Big Red had a conspiracy against him. He put him in the ring with James Storm. He did this and he did that to him. Well, finally, we get to settle that when Legacy Pro returns. Del Tucker versus Big Red.
So Big Red is lacing up the boots for this show.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
He's going to try one more run. We'll see how it goes.
Man, that's a heck of a matchup. Dale, man, Dale's a talented guy. He can kind of do it all in the ring too, man. He can wrestle, he can fight, he can fly if he wants to. Big Red, I don't think we're gonna see much flying from Red, but we definitely gonna see some ground and pound out of Red. I
Well,
can
I can say
promise you
this,
that.
Buster. He called me today, or yesterday actually, and he said, you know, because we were talking about upcoming events and what that looks like for him, and he said, I don't know that my body can do it anymore, but I'm giving 110% to this one.
That'll be a good matchup, man. I remember I had forgot about it, but I remember the issues now going on with Red and Dale on some of the last few Legacy shows. So that should be a heck of a matchup. You got any idea where this matchup lands on the card, Aaron?
I do have an idea. It'll be right after we're starting the show hot with the Legacy Gauntlet. It'll be immediately following the Legacy Gauntlet.
Well, look, since we're on that, while I'm getting rid of this, let me pull us back around before we go to any more. And let's discuss this Legacy Gauntlet, man. Talk to me about this match, the rules of it, and who all's in it, man.
It's very similar. Have you ever watched an AEW Casino Royale
Yeah.
where, you know, every few minutes a new person's enter the ring, but you never know with them, you never know how many people are able to enter the ring. With us, we've set a limit. There's 5 people with the possibility of entering this match. But if the first two get it done, if somebody gets the pinfall in 2 minutes, it's over with. We don't get to see the other guys. But
Ooh, man.
I can tell you who's got the short end of the stick on that one. So he drew number 5 just recently. Sarge O'Reilly drew number 5. So there's a
Man.
chance. There's a chance we may not see Sarge, but there's a high possibility he could win the whole thing because he'll be the freshest man in the business.
And since Rocker's not in that matchup, Sarge will definitely be the most experienced guy in that ring during that matchup. I don't care who else you put in it. He's going to be the most experienced guy. Talk to me a minute about Sarge, man, because Sarge, man, he's kind of like the godfather of West Tennessee wrestling almost. He's one of those. There's only a few guys, Rocker, Sarge. Honestly, I mean, who else around West Tennessee has been around and has done as much as Sarge?
As Sarge specifically, there was really only ever one other guy, and that was Motley. I looked at those two kind of as the same vein, and then everybody else was a generation after, and that's when you
Right.
fall into your Derricks. To me, that's when you fall into my dad, Rocker, Derrick, Allen, like that generation of guy.
Yeah,
Well,
Sarge.
really, if you think about it, Derek and Alan are a generation and behind your dad and I,
Right.
because you know, Sarge and Molly both used to beat the crap out of me and Red all the time, like at Peppermint Pond. For the ones that are around here know what I'm talking about. But I think we were like 14 or 15, and they would just beat the crap out of us. But hey, we didn't ever give up. We loved it. So
Yeah, I think Sarge told me he's been wrestling since '82, maybe is when he started.
yeah,
That's a long time, man. And Motley's got to be right there. Motley may be right there, maybe a couple of years young, but even before that, I don't know.
yeah.
But both guys, man, they've kind of. I mean, both guys. If when I talk to people on this podcast from around the Mid South area, Memphis Mid South area, those are the two names that always come up more than anybody else. It's Motley and Sarge. Motley comes up everywhere, and Sarge, it is West Tennessee guys. Sarge has had a hand in mentoring and molding pretty much all you guys from West
Yeah.
Tennessee, man. He's helped all you guys at one point or another.
Yeah, people always assume that I was trained by my dad, but I wasn't. Me or Cordell both. We were both trained by Sarge. Sergeant Anton LaVey, who was trained by Molly Crew. So there's that.
Yeah.
And I'm like Rocker. Derek was a generation after Rocker and Red, for
Yeah.
sure. And so a lot of experience in that match. Who else are we gonna see, man? I know y'all put
So
the graphics out for it. So who else is in that match?
the opposite end of the experience there is Preston Blake, somebody that's just started this year, had his or late last year, I should say, but he's
August.
within his first year of wrestling. So that's
So
a total jump from 150 years of experience to year one.
right, and that brings along the next generation of Robertsons in the business. So Chris, you hold a vested interest in Preston Block. So talk to me about that, man. How was it when did he come to you and say, "Hey, man, I want to get in the business"? Or
He he actually back when we had the show in Newbern when it was, I think it was EWE, EIW, whatever it was.
EIW?
Yeah, when he wanted to train then, and I kind of messed around with it a little bit, and then when we started going to Trenton, I started working with some of the guys, and he was there, and I found myself getting really really frustrated because I felt that he should be able to pick it up, run with it, because it's been in his family, it's his blood, and so I pulled back and I said, I just can't do it. And I didn't train him.
Right.
Um, Aaron and Zay did.
Well,
And I will give it to them. They did an excellent job. I wish they would have educated him a little bit on his attitude. I mean, but when I look back, he's got the same attitude that I had. Far as like if I need to hit you with something to win, I will. If I need to pull a chain, I will. I mean, so
yeah,
I
he's a
can't.
talent. Man, I've kind of been keeping an eye on him since he broke in and started actually wrestling. Now he did some refereeing pre wrestling, right?
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that he holds against me because out of nowhere, at the finish of a match, I just blasted him with a super kick, and
Mm.
it was stiff. I mean, it was there. So he like at TIWF, I try to get him to, hey, walk this line, walk this straight line, and it's just not for him. So, and just like this belt stays on my shelf in there with my dad's, ashes and stuff, his my dad's wrestling boots and all that. Because that's how much it means to me. It's there. It's with everything that helped build the legacy.
Right,
And, he picked the belt up one day while he was doing a video for those guys, and he said something like legacy. And then he put it back down, kind of cocky, and said, I'll make my own legacy, which is fine. Hey, everybody does what they got to do, but you can't forget where you come from either.
so what I'm hearing is, and like I said, I've kept an eye on this young man. He's a talented kid in the ring. There ain't no doubt about that. But I feel like what you're saying is he needs somebody maybe to knock him down a peg or two mentally.
Yeah. And, now, at the other show down there, he's kind of getting involved with Tim Grimes and that other guy. I don't know what his son's called. What is his
Lance McCade.
Lance McCade?
Lance?
Yeah.
Yes, and he's kind of like talking to them. And I wasn't there this past week, so I don't know what went on, what didn't. But those guys can't be any good for him. So, but we'll see.
I'll say this. Let me just step in here, okay? I personally, we did teach him, and we did teach him to, because if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That's
You're right.
step one. So hey, I may have pulled back on that in these recent months, but cheating got me a WWE ID contract. So I can't fault him for cheating, but I will say this about that super kick. Every single time we had a promo class, Daniel Lopez is probably the worst fan in the entire world. But every single time we had a promo class, to make him angry, I would remind him about that super kick.
Gee, thanks,
And
Aaron.
that'd be the best promo of the day. Every time he thought about that super kick. So I know for a fact, because I don't know if you know this or not, Buster, the winner of the gauntlet gets a championship match against
That's
Chris
what
Rocker for the Legacy Pro Championship.
that's what I was going to ask you. What was the prize for the winner? What's the reason these guys are all in there trying to win? So Rocker, let's say Preston wins this match, man. Obviously, that means somewhere down the line you're gonna have to face off with him in the ring, man. And it ain't gonna be playtime. It ain't gonna be practice time. It ain't gonna be dads in here trying to help you out, because
That's
he's gonna
right.
be in there trying to take that belt. And here's the thing: I think he comes by the cockiness and stuff naturally. Rocker, you had that same cockiness.
I did, and the person that adjusted that for me was my father, and I'll be the same one to adjust it for Preston. If he wins the gauntlet, he needs to know that he's not facing Tim, because Tim's not going to beat me. He's going to be facing me, and it's not I'm going in to face Dad. I'm going in to face Chris Rocker, and Chris Rocker don't give up easy. I mean, it's that simple, just to be honest.
I hate to say it, but I'm pulling for Preston to win this match now. To be honest with you guys,
Well,
I kind of
so
want to
here's the
I
thing,
kind of want to
Buster.
see that dynamic, man.
We talked about how myself and Zay had a lot of, well, not a lot of, we trained Preston. Zay's also going to be in this match.
Oh, I didn't
So
realize
a
that.
little student teacher action going on. And Zay, I mean, he's won championships so everywhere he's ever been. So I mean, that's another name coming. And as much as I hate these dudes now, he's got Just in Case coming with him. So
So
that's a little
let's
extra.
touch on that for a second. I wasn't gonna bring it up, but since you brought it up, let's talk about that for just a minute before we get back to this card. What's the deal? You Justin and Aaron and Zay has had a falling out big time, man. How did we end up here, dude?
I think it's a simple. It's the same thing that happened last time, right? When it's just jealousy. When you realize somebody is being looked at as better than you you get jealous, and they know, both of them know. Justin likes to take credit for everything I've done, but he had nothing to do with it. I can't say nothing. I did learn a lot from Justin, but I was the one putting in the work. I was the one making the drives. I was the one making the trips. I was the one dragging Zay along, trying to make him relevant, and he got upset by that. So now I have to put him down, and then after that, I'll go about my business and get back to winning championships.
Man, I had such high hopes. You guys had, I mean, we seen several years ago, y'all, the young goats went separate ways. We seen what happened with your eye and stuff. And then you guys got back together, man. Right after pretty much you got the ID deal, it seemed like everything started falling in place and you guys kind of got back together, but that didn't last long. It didn't last nowhere near as long as the first run with you guys did. I mean, is it just strictly jealousy on Zay's
I
part?
would say so, because when I, like you just said, when I got the deal, they came a calling. When I lost the deal, I got stabbed in the back. That's to me. That's pretty obvious how things are going.
Right. And look, here's the next graphic. We got Bosby, which we've already touched on. Bosby. We got the Holler Boys. This is a hell of a team. This is a heck of a tag team right here, man. I've really been impressed with these guys. Billy Madden used to be part of the Dog Pound with David Dane. And
Lots of
man,
tag teams.
well,
Billy and my brother used to run the tag team division around here
were they the
as the
Sons
Sons
of
of
the
the
South?
South. Yeah, a
Okay.
long time ago.
What
Billy's one of those guys that's a tag team specialist for sure. And Cam's getting better every time I see him perform, and that's because Billy's there to help him through it.
Well, let's talk about Billy's body transformation. Because as part of the Dog Pound, man, he was a lot heavier, a lot bigger guy, man. I feel like Billy's probably lost 50 or 60 pounds since those days, man. But you can see it in the ring, man. His ring work is different. He's a lot faster, a lot smoother, a lot more explosive than he was. And Cam, man, this kid has really come a long way in a short time.
He's a natural athlete. I mean, he's another one of those names, just like myself and Cordell and Preston and Rocker, that have basically grown up around the business, and that tends to help you pick up on things a lot faster.
Right. Rocker,
Yeah.
you got anything to throw in about the Holler Boys?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is Billy don't give up. I mean, Billy will take a beating and a beating, and then if his partner wants to give up or if his partner wants to go different directions, then hey, Billy will get right back in there, and Billy wants to help young guys, so he tries to find somebody that can team up. And I tease him all the time and tell him, Billy, you're just trying to find somebody to tote your bags for you, or whatever. But Billy really wants to help the young guys, and Billy's a young guy himself, and he don't give up.
Yeah, they make a great team. I first seen them. Uh, they did some matches for the UWA. Mark Manley out of Missouri. The matches weren't in Missouri. The matches were in Tennessee, but they were part of the UWA show. And I got to call some of their first matches together. And man, good team right there, man. Really a great tag team. I expect big things from these guys, but let's talk about the guy in the middle. The guy in the middle seems to be on the tip of a lot of people's tongue. Uh, Mr. Energy, Marco Harris. Let's touch on
Hang
Marco, man.
time.
He is the current Memphis Internet champion. Uh, Aaron, let's go with you first. I'm assuming you're spending a decent amount of time around this guy when y'all do Memphis tapings and stuff. What's your thoughts on Marco Harris as a wrestler?
Marco's another one of those guys very similar to Tim that they just get it right now. They're doing everything right and just getting better and better every single time they go out there. And then, I mean, that's working wonders. I mean, when it came to putting this show together, Marco Harris was one of the names that we needed to have on there. And there's a reason for that. He's just that talented.
Yeah, he's definitely a highlight reel. A lot of people give Marco a lot of flack at times because and I'm going to say it. A lot of people want to say he's a spot monkey, but man, Marco is a highlight reel. He really is. He is the second coming of Rey Mysterio Jr. being the highlight reel. Marco is. He's a highlight reel, a very talented guy. Uh, I mean, here's my thing with Marco. I feel like it's time for him to get the heck out of here. I feel like for
See,
him to go to the next level, he needs to get out of here. I feel like he's pretty much he's one belt away from kind of have being at the top of the class around here in two major companies, the two biggest companies. So my worry is what happens when Marco wins that Memphis Heritage heavyweight title. Where does he go from there around here? There really is nowhere to go for him, is it?
I mean, that pretty much solves it right there. That's something I've been begging and pleading to Marco. Like, I'm pretty much on the road every single weekend, and I'm telling this dude all the time, hop in the car, let's go, and you will be a star, bro. Everywhere we go, you will be a star. But luckily, we got him coming to Legacy Pro this Friday night, Newport, Tennessee. So he's going to be a star there.
Yeah, Marco's a big feather in any company's cap that gets him to be on the show. Rocker, we got a little promo from Marco, and after we listen to it, when we come back, we'll get your opinion of Marco Harris, dude.
Gotcha.
New captain? Is that a new captain I hear? No. This is your actual captain speaking. This is Marco Hang Tom Harris, Mr. Energy, the Memphis Wrestling Internet Champion. Yes, coming to you February 20th. Legacy Pro makes its grand return on the indie scene, and I promise you, I'm bringing the energy. So Dylan, bring yours, bring that spirit, bring all that talk, because at the end of the day, it's going to be about action. So, I'll see you there.
Here's the thing, Rocker. Marco, honestly, he don't talk a lot. It's action in the ring with Marco, man. He might give you a few words here and there, but he kind of keeps it short and sweet, and he does all his talking in the ring. Rocker, what's your opinion of Marco?
Well, man, I don't know a lot about him just from, I actually just started watching him when I found out he was coming to Legacy. But I will say that from what I've seen of him. He does bring the energy. And what I will say is I can't wait to face off with him because I know it's coming one day. And the reason that is because for one, you just said he's could be a spot monkey, and I used to be a spot monkey. So I'm gonna enjoy all these guys coming to the show that can go and that can turn it up just to push me to that level. And I think he would be one of the guys that could do that just like Tim.
Rocker, it feels like to me you got something to prove. You're talking different than I normally hear you talk. I feel like you're looking for some of these guys like this. I feel like there's something you want to prove to everybody, maybe even yourself.
Well, I want to always prove to myself that I can still go. But when it comes to a Legacy Pro show, that's my legacy. And I have to prove everything because this don't come at an easy price. You know what I'm saying? You have
Right.
you have to work, you have to prove yourself for it. And trust me, I'll give all these young guys their props. They're taking the business to another level. And I'm not one of those guys that's been around, a long time that says, oh, the business needs to be like it was. No, the business is going to that another level. And I look at it as the guys that's like me and my age is either jump on board and go with it or go to the house. And I'm jumping on board and going with it.
And here's the thing, Rocker. I have people ask me all the time, why don't you ever get any of the old stars on? And I don't have any problem talking with any of the old stars. I love if I get the chance to talk to them. But you just said it. These young guys are the future of professional wrestling. And that's the one reason that I focus as much as I do on young and up and coming guys, because I love pro wrestling. I want pro wrestling to be around 50 years from now. I want pro wrestling to be around 100
Right.
years from now. And all the older guys, look, they've done made their mark. They've done give their contributions to the business. But it's these young guys we got to expose to the people, and we got to get them out there, and they got to get over, because they're the future of the wrestling business.
And you're right. You're absolutely right. They are the future of the wrestling business. But one thing that I will tell you, I'm not just going to pass the torch off easily. If they want the torch, they have to take it from me.
And that's the thing. You're willing to that torch to be passed if they can take it. You know
Exactly.
as well as I do, a lot of people around this area, predecessors to you, predecessors to Red, predecessor to me, that torch didn't want to be passed, or they
You're right.
didn't want to hand that torch over. And there's no, I don't think there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that situation. I feel like wrestling around our area could really still be strong if the right guys had to pass the torch at the right time to the right guys then, and then those guys did the same thing, repeated the cycle. I feel like we could still be drawing big crowds, and I feel like there's a handful of guys that could probably be making a living each week just off of wrestling.
But I look at the wrestling now and versus wrestling 10 years ago. Wrestling now is hotter than it was 10 years ago.
Right.
Wrestling today, because yes, you had companies back like USWA and CWA and Memphis Wrestling back then, and even Power Pro. They drew good decent crowds, but that was the only. You didn't have a whole lot of indie shows. Now
Right.
you have indie shows, 2 or 3 in the same town, and they're drawing 100 here and 75 at this one and 50 at this one. So that just tells me that the wrestling is still alive. We just got to capitalize on it and make it where that 150, 175, 200 wants to come to the right show.
Right.
And that's what we're going to do with Legacy.
And I'll be honest with you, independent wrestling, in my opinion, is drawing way better than big time wrestling. We see AEW has problems drawing. WWE, since TKO took over, they're completely pricing themselves out of the wrestling fan base. And that's just the honest truth, man.
Yeah.
And they're having problems selling tickets now. But I'm like you, there's 100. How many companies do you figure, just on a guesstimation? This is with both of you guys, around our area, Mississippi, Tennessee, lower Missouri, and Arkansas. how many companies do you figure run on a Friday and Saturday night basis every week around here?
Every week?
Every single week. I feel like there's probably 30 shows that run every either Friday or
Oh yeah, yeah,
around
without a
this
doubt.
area.
I think
And
that every week is kind of slowing down now. I can only think of 3 or 4 maybe. I'm thinking TIWF, um, OCW in Arkansas,
Yeah,
MCW.
that runs the same building every week. Yeah, I agree with that. But far as on any given week, you can say in the 3 or 4 states that he mentioned, there's probably 30 shows around on that weekend.
Which
yeah,
is crazy to me that you see the same people at the same show every week for years and years on end.
that's
Right.
that's one thing that I feel like is an issue. I feel like when you see the same talent on every single show, it's hard to differentiate for the company their brand. I mean, it just is. It's hard. And I'm fixing to start running a couple of KAW shows, and I have the same issues.
Yeah, you're
I mean,
probably
it's
running
just
the same thing we're running into where we're like, man, we want some people that feel fresh around here. You know, we want to bring back the fans of yesteryear, which is the reason that we've invited Ricky Hayes and Tim Davis, and you know they say there's a chance the Missouri Bad Boys might pop in. We don't know about those guys, but we want to reach out to those fans that have lapsed, while
right.
also showing these people what the guys that are now capable of, like on the screen right now, Jabari Young, one of the best around, Marco Harris and Tim Bosby that we've already talked about, not to even mention the best professional wrestler in the area, the bad man, the problem Aaron Roberts, who is tagging with the second best wrestler in the area, the Bull from the Woods, Cordell Roberts, the Legacy Pro Tag Team Champions, to
So
take on a bunch of jokes.
so let's talk about that. Let's talk about these young men here. Obviously, Cordell's the elder statesman here, and I mean, he's still a young guy, but he's got 10 times the experience either other guy has. Uh, I mean, he's your brother, Aaron. So I'm gonna let you talk about Cordell first. And here's the thing: I feel like it took you, and we've had this conversation. It took you until the last couple of years to really evolve and figure out who you were, who you are in the wrestling business. And I feel like Cordell's on that same path. I feel like he's right there knocking on the door, man. I feel like there's a couple of little tweaks here or there that he can take, and then he's going to evolve into who he was always supposed to be. He's your brother, man. So talk to me about him.
Yeah, probably one of the most overlooked dudes in our area. Somebody that's consistently and has always been performing at a high level, but has been overlooked because for a long time, and I was in the same situation. That's Big Red's son. You know, that's Rocker and Red's boys. You know, like we didn't get to stand alone, and him more so because he was there longer. Didn't get to be his own person until now. We've I'm dragged it out of him that we're not taking that no more. We are the top dogs now. No offense, old timer, but you're old timers, and we're the top now.
Hey, and like I said just a few minutes ago, if you guys can take the torch, I'll pass it to you.
Yeah, I remember. I think the last time we wrestled, I beat you, but that's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, well, that's in the past. We don't bring up the past.
Mm.
So,
You got lucky on that one, but yeah.
Rocker, give us your thoughts on Cordell, man. Hey, another big guy who can actually work in the ring. That's hard
Well,
to come by.
I don't get to see Cordell like outside of the business really. Like Aaron said, it's when we run these shows, it's like a big family reunion for us. We get to see the guys and we talk and carry on a little bit. But I will say from the time that I do see him outside of the wrestling, he's very quiet. And that's one of the guys that you have to worry about. When they're quiet, then you don't know if they're going to hit you with a chain, if they're going to hit you with a belt, or if they're going to shake your hand.
And we'll do
And
all three of those things.
exactly. I mean, and that's why you guys are the heavyweight, the legacy tag team champions.
Yeah, I like Cordell. He worked that fit show, and man, he was professional as heck, listened. No issues with Cordell whatsoever. I really like working with Cordell. And man, my mind just started running crazy with ideas and things that you could do with Cordell, man. I want to see Cordell get pushed up into that spot, man. Aaron's been there for about 2 years now. I want to see Cordell get on level path with Aaron, and I want to see how that thing plays out, man. Cordell's a talented guy. I think, and I'm like you, Cordell is deceptively quiet. I feel like Aaron has came out of his shell. It takes a long time sometimes to evolve out of your shell, especially on TV and putting it out there for people to see. And I feel like that's one of the tweaks that we need to get with Cordell. We need to pull Cordell completely out of his shell, man. I figure once he does that and that personality starts to really show, I feel like that's when he's really going to take off.
Yeah, I mean, and I agree with that. And the only thing that, like, if I hope he's listening, the only thing that I would tell him that I think that he needs to do is learn the politics game a little bit, because wrestling's a big politic. I mean, and you probably know what I'm talking about, Aaron, when I say to play the politics. But the thing is that sometimes you got to bite your tongue and play the politic game with them, and it'll end up in a better run at the end.
I wish I would have played politics when I was active and young in the business, man. Honestly, if I knew, hindsight's 2020. If I was 20 years old, I believe right now, and know what I know now, I don't think it'd take the right person but about 6 months to become the top dog around this territory. And that's just the honest to God truth right there. I believe that, man. Politics is part of the wrestling business. So you might play on the field your own is what I always tell my kids. My kids have a lot of big ideas and grandiose ideas about changing the world. The best way to change the world is learn how to play the game better than anybody else can play.
Yeah.
Then you get the power, then you can start changing things. But learn to play on the field we're on. Before we touch on Jabari, because he sent in a promo, I want to hit you with this comment. This is Dotson, Rocker. He said, I am the biggest star around here, and everybody knows it. Give me your thoughts on Johnny Dotson being the biggest star around here, man.
Well, I'll say it like this. Johnny, if you're listening, if you're still listening, this legacy belt will always be up. If you ever think you can take it, feel free to drop in.
So Jabari Young, now we all know this young man is JT Williams. I actually had him on the podcast last week. Aaron, I've told him this, and I want to get your opinion. Sometimes I don't think he realizes how good he really is.
I think a lot of people don't realize how good he is, but his issue is he's been around too many people that are hobbyists and not enough businessmen. So he's learned some of the wrong things about how this business works.
I agree with that.
I'm trying to pull it out of him. I can see it in him.
Hey, here's the thing. He's young as can be, and he's been playing around in the ring since he was probably 12 years old. So, I mean, he can really go in the ring, but I'm like you, man. You learn bad habit. It's hard to break them in the wrestling business. But he's one of the most talented guys around our area. And the thing about him, he's pretty good size now, and he's steady filling out more. He's still got a lot of filling out to do. So Jabari could literally be 6'1" and 230 pounds in the next 3 or 4 or 5 years, man. And that's a dangerous Jabari Young right there.
I just hope we see it. I hope he gets his head on right and does the things that I've advised him to do, behind the scenes. I'm not going to put all the business out there, but if he does the work he needs to do, then, it'll be no denying what he's capable of.
Well, look, Rocker, he's got a promo, him and Bud, or Eric Montrail, whichever you want to call him. He's Bud to us. So they got a little promo. Let's listen to it, and then when we come back, I want to get your opinion of Jabari, Rocker.
All right.
February 20th. Me and Jabari Young make our debut in New Bern, Tennessee, where we grew up from, right? Yeah. Where we grew up from, where we been, where we going back to. Look here, I'ma set a plan for February 20th. I don't want to tag with you as it is. I had to drop some dead weight already, which is our other family member. Dropped him, left him behind. He ain't going nowhere. So I'ma need for you to pick up your debt. Matter of fact, I don't need for you to do nothing but just sit in the corner. Cause February 20th, Jabari Young and this little dude right here is coming for the Holla Boys. And whatever we have to do to get a step closer to gold, not even we, whatever I have to do to get a step closer to we? Gold. Nah, ain't no we. Me. Be there February 20th and see what I do to them Holla Boys.
Rocker, we seeing a little attitude out of Jabari, man. What you've known this young man pretty much since he started. What's your thoughts on his evolution from JT to Jabari?
Man, he's got the right thoughts. Far as trying to think that he can do it all himself, but he needs to realize real quick that if he's in a tag team match or a triple threat or something like that, it's not all about you doing it by yourself. You gotta use your mind. I mean, and that's the problem with a lot of these young guys now. They want to jump out there and say, "Oh, I can do it. I can do it. I'm this. I'm that." But he can go a long ways as long as he will listen to the right people and take the right advice from the right people and not the wrong people.
Right. And here's a question for both of you guys. Aaron, you first. EOG, JT and Tyrell Miller, together, those two really started building a lot of momentum as a tag team, and they really got themselves noticed as a tag team. What's your opinion, Aaron? Do you think they should have rolled that wave out a little longer before they decided to kind of go their own way?
No, I think they should have split up a long time ago. I think they got as high as they were going to get, and they were holding each other back.
Okay. Rocker, what's your thoughts on that, man?
Yeah, I think the same thing. I have to agree with Aaron because the thing is, you could put them up against anybody. They would get in the ring with anybody, but they wasn't they wasn't going any further. They wasn't trying any new moves. They wasn't trying anything to make that next step. The minute that they split up is the minute that they both said, "Hey, I got something to prove to." And I don't even know if it's them thinking they got something to prove to the wrestling world or if they got something to prove to each other.
Here's kind of my thoughts on the situation. Rocker, you've been there, you know this. You get something that's really working and starting to build some momentum. Sometimes you do not want to rock that boat. You kind of want to ride that out and ride that wave and see how high it takes you before you split up. My opinion is I feel like they were getting noticed a lot faster together as EOG. I feel like both of them, and they're both talented as can be. I love both guys. Both guys separately are really good wrestlers. They both got their own style. But I feel like it's going to be a little harder for them to build that notoriety they already had as EOG separately.
I have to disagree with you, Buster. Just under the circumstance of it's a lot easier to say, "Hey, I'm going to this show," and get up and go, versus saying, "Hey, I need you to be here at this time so we can leave. We got to leave at this time. Come on, I need you here. I need you. I need you. I need you."
Well, see, I
And if
don't
it's
know
just
none of
you,
the
you can get up
personal.
and go.
Well, see, I'm just going on a wrestler's view, and I don't know their
Yeah.
personal business. Just going by the momentum and what I seen with those guys as a tag team. So I don't really know the personal, any of the personal idiosyncrasies between the two guys. If one guy's ready and the other guy ain't, that's always an issue in the wrestling business. You can't work that way.
It's very hard to have a legit tag team because the thing is how many top tag teams have been fired because just one of the guy, PG-13, prime example. One of them was drunk and passed out in the elevator. They both got fired.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, prime example, and he's probably listening, and I'll probably catch an earful tomorrow. But Big Red, I had him booked on multiple shows with, Terry Golden when we was doing Memphis Wrestling and had the WWE guys there. And Red would no call, no show. You know, he would never no show us. He would always call us, but he would say, "Hey, I'm not coming." And then, you know, a couple times we pulled up to his house and said, "Yeah, you're going, get in." And so, you know, and I really think that if Red would have came to those shows where like Kevin Kelly and Bruce Pritchard was, Red had the size. I think Red could have got a job.
Yeah,
But
man, it would have been so much easier for me if he just did what he needed to do. I could have been a nepo baby.
right.
Look, man, my brother waited till I got 17 before breaking in the business because he wanted to break in with me and manage me. Hindsight, man, since then I've told him, man, you should have got into business when you were 18. Show would have made my track into business a heck of a lot easier. Could have
Mhm.
opened up a lot of doors, man. So I agree with that 100%. Look, Jabari's on here. He says EOG is dead and done. So I'm through talking about it. I'm done talking about EOG. I love the guys together, but we're gonna see how they do separately. I'm done talking about it.
Speaking of separately, though, you know, Jabari's got this match teaming with Eric, but we go back to the Legacy Gauntlet. Ty Miller's got a chance to win a championship title match.
and Ty, I'm assuming, I'm thinking he's still the Premier Pro Junior Heavyweight Champion. I could be wrong about that, but I think he's still the Premier Pro Junior Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, I don't know, but I will say that nobody, no one needs to try to overlook him because he will surprise you.
Ty,
Very talented, naturally athletic.
Yeah.
speaking of Ty, right there, front and center, man. I like Too Smooth. I can't say that I don't. I really like Too Smooth. He's a little bit older than Jabari. Uh, you know, I figure the older you are brings more maturity, or at least we hope it does. But I mean, Ty's a heck of a talent in the ring. There ain't no denying that. Him and Jabari both, man, they're, I don't even know how to say it. They're like heads and tails of the same coin. You know what I mean? When you put them together, something happens there. But both they're good. They're both super talented guys. Y'all got Ty front and center. So Aaron, let's talk about Ty just a second.
Like I just said, man, he's another one of those guys in that Legacy Gauntlet, you know, positioning himself for a chance at the Legacy Pro Championship. Ty, like you just said, has won championships. I may be wrong on this, but he may have won more championships in the singles division than he has in tag team action. And I mean, he's like I said, he's naturally athletic and he picks up on things really fast. They don't call him too smooth for no reason.
Yeah, he's got a good look about him too. Ty's
Yeah.
a little more developed. He's not as big as Jabari, and when Jabari quits, fills out the rest of the way, he's not going to be nowhere near as Jabari because Ty's a little older. He's his filling out's probably about done, but he's a sleek guy in the ring. Rocker, what's your opinion of Ty, man?
Man, the only thing I will say about him is don't underestimate him. I've been in the ring with him and I felt how solid he is. He is a solid guy. And the good thing is he listens. And if he can just step up his entertainment a little bit, he could probably go to the next level. I mean, it's just, you know, he wants to get in there and which is a good thing. He wants to get in there and wrestle, 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 but put a little entertainment in. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at Logan Paul and him, you know, those guys, they entertain all the time, and one of them boxes and the other one wrestles, and they still
Right.
entertain, you know. But I just don't think anybody needs to underestimate him because I can tell you what, if he wins the gauntlet, I'm not gonna underestimate him when I step across the ring from him.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Look, we got two brothers, Galen and Biscuit. Let's talk about Galen first because Biscuit's got a promo that I want to play when we get on him. But Galen Ray was the former owner of EIW, and they ran New Bern for years. Uh, Galen's a hell of a hand in the ring. I mean, you can't take nothing away from Galen, man. He can really work in the ring. He's really good in the ring.
Yeah, Galen is former Legacy Pro Tag Team champion. Him and Biscuit actually were former Legacy Pro Tag Team champions together. But Galen has decided to team up with Luke Justice, managed by Justin Klein, as known as the collection agency, and they're coming after us. They're coming after the top dogs. They're coming after the tag team champions. This Friday,
So
we have to put them down.
so look, Justin Klein, I didn't realize I didn't realize that was the matchup, but he had a promo too. So before we get to Biscuit, let's hear what Klein had to say, and then we'll come back to Rocker.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Did I just hear that Legacy Pro Wrestling is returning next month? Yeah, it's interesting because the word legacy has been on the mind of Too Fine Justin Klein for a long time, but never more so than now, as I see the light at the end of the tunnel, as I plan my exit strategy from this dump, from this purgatory known as the Mid-South. And I've been thinking about what kind of legacy I want to leave behind. I want to be remembered as the most consequential, influential wrestling agent to ever work this area. I've made stars, I've made champions in Memphis Wrestling and EPW Wrestling and Premier Pro Wrestling. One place that I've yet to set foot in, that I've not planted my flag, is Legacy Pro. Well, that changes Saturday, February 20th in New Bern, Tennessee, amongst the other rednecks in West Tennessee, because I've called up a couple of guys, a couple of like-minded athletes, and guys who I believe are the most underrated, who are more than overdue for their flowers. Guys who are ready to collect on their legacy. Because a lot of guys in West Tennessee, there's a lot of young wrestlers in New Bern especially, that haven't paid their dues. Well, we're bringing receipts, and we're coming to collect.
All right, I said we would go to Rocker, but let's go back to Aaron right quick. The collection agency, Galen and Luke Justice, coming for you guys' titles. Talk to me about that matchup a little bit, and talk to me about Justin Klein being involved.
You know, I can sit here and I can be on my high horse and I can say we're going to run these guys over. We're going to walk through these dudes just like everybody expects us to. But the truth of the matter is, when you throw Justin Klein out there, you throw the experience of Galen Ray, you throw the anger that Luke Justice carries with him all the time, you throw that into a pot and you mix that up, that really does stand for a tough night at the office. But at the end of the night, we didn't win championships for no reason.
Rocker, talk to me about Galen Ray first, and then give me your thoughts on Justin Klein and this tag team matchup him and Luke Justice have. Galen and Luke against Aaron and the Bull from the Woods.
Well, I'm gonna reverse it. I'm gonna start with Justin. You know, he I've been on shows with him. I've been in the locker room with him. I've had conversations with him. And there is nothing good about this guy. Nothing. I mean, he will talk to you, say anything that he needs to say to you to your face, and then if you blink your eyes, he's got the knife in your back. So, and then teaming up with Luke Justice and Galen Ray. Okay, well, first off, I will say, guys, Aaron, you and Cordell need to think about that clothesline that he's got, because he's got a pretty good, solid clothesline. Luke Justice knows how to bring it. And then you're talking about Galen Ray. Galen Ray's been around a long time, so he can pull out a lot of tricks out of a lot of bags that we probably forgot about because we don't use them anymore, but he'll still do it. So I may be wrong for saying this, but I may be leaning a little bit towards those guys taking them belts.
Ooh, a little real in the family, man.
You know what? I hope Tim Bosley wins.
Hey, look, the Lord kicked him right out, right out when he said that. Right out. But honestly, let's touch on Luke Justice a few minutes. Man, this kid, I feel like he's doing better over the last year or so, because Luke's the kind of kid up to this point couldn't keep himself out of trouble behind the scenes. But man, this kid can really go in the ring. He's really one of the more talented workers we have around our area. And I mean, he can go in the ring. There ain't no doubt about what he can do in the ring. It's just his maturity needs to catch up with his in-ring skills, and I think they're slowly but surely kind of catching up with each other. Aaron,
I think
let's.
it all falls back to the same thing I said about Jabari, and this goes for Ty. This goes for a lot of these guys. Actually, they've spent too much time with the hobbyist. They've picked up the bad habits, and not enough time being businessmen, treating themselves like a business. Instead, they play games.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Here's the thing. Luke been in the business, kind of was born in the business. His granddaddy was a wrestler. So it's hard on guys like that sometimes, especially, and I'm going to say it like it is, when you growed up in outlaw wrestling.
Right.
It does something to your mentality. And I agree with Aaron, man. I think because Luke, man, a couple years ago, he was traveling to New York, I think it was, or New Jersey. He was starting to go some different places and working, man. I seen some matches where up there were, man, Luke was on it, man. It was almost like he tried harder up there than he does down here at times. And he looked so much better up there. The fans were behind him, putting on great matches. Luke's a kid that can kind of do it all in the ring. He can do everything.
Well, I mean, it just really falls back to the attitude thing. Like if you hang out with the wrong people, if you um, take the wrong advice, and like I think the world of his granddad, but some of the advice his granddad has given him, it's probably not the best. But and I'm not saying it is or it ain't. I'm just saying probably not. But that's just one of the things that you got to step back and say, do I need to take his advice or do I need to take it with a grain of salt and tweak it my way?
Right. And I feel like that advice is, I mean, it might be great advice for the outlaw scene around our area. That don't mean it's great advice to get to the next level in the wrestling business and go try to be somebody. You know
Right.
what?
And it's great advice 20 years ago,
Right.
because like I tell guys all the time, like, I could be in a locker room and some of the guys that were, working back when I was working all the time, they would say, man, if they did that when we was breaking into business, yeah, we talked to them. We got talked to really bad. Derek King and I talked to a lot of the younger guys really bad, but you can't do that nowadays. That's like one of the biggest things that's changed. So, the wrestling is changing every day, and you just have to take your advice that someone give you that worked 20 years ago and tweak it to what works now.
Right. So
I don't know.
look,
Maybe I'm an outlier here, but I mean, me and Luke Justice were running around the audiences together. And I think, we were at a lot of the same shows growing up. We've even in MCW and Osceola, we've teamed up and took over that division. I think it's you can't blame anybody but yourself. It's the way I see it.
Right.
right. So let's talk about Biscuit, man. Biscuit is a wrestling miracle. Let's just say that. Biscuit's a guy that probably should have never ever stepped foot in the wrestling ring, but he did, man. And he's been in the wrestling business a long, long time. Works his ass off out there. Is a hell of a worker. And I say it all the time. Sometimes when you look at, if you're a casual fan, look, and you just pop up and look at Biscuit, you think, man, who the fuck? Excuse me, rocker. You think, who the heck is this dude here? But then when you take the time to actually watch him work in the ring, you kind of get it, man. You can't deny Biscuit's a hell of a talent. He can work his ass off, and he's got a ton of experience.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. And I will say that Biscuit was one of the guys that I first did the Taipei death match with. And when I told him what it was and we talked about doing it, he was all for it. And most guys will be like, no, I'm not doing that. But, the thing is Biscuit will not turn a match down. He will not tell you, no, I'm not going to do this. And, he'll just go out there and if you say jump off the top of the house and do 12 backflips and land on your neck, then he's gonna be like, okay, I might die, but okay.
I mean, Biscuit has died, I'm pretty sure, wrestling.
Right.
And then he
Right.
was back in the ring. You know what I mean? You can't stop him. He loves this.
Right.
Yeah, you can't deny his passion for the business. I mean, obviously, me and him's had some heat over some things I've said in the past, but I mean, forget about what I think about that situation in the ring. Biscuit can go, man. He's one of the most
Yes.
talented guys around our area, and I'd never ever take that away from him. Actually, he had a few words. So let's see what Biscuit had to say.
Ladies and gentlemen of New Bern, Tennessee, just a quick reminder on who I am. My name is John Biscuit Roberts, and I once was the hottest superstar in New Bern, Tennessee. And I once was a heavyweight champion in New Bern, Tennessee. But besides all that, let's get straight to the point. Come February 20th, yours truly is coming back, running it back to New Bern, Tennessee. And this time it's not for companies I'm known for, but it's for Legacy Pro Wrestling. And I'm coming February 20th to Legacy Pro Wrestling just for one thing, to enter myself into that gauntlet and to become your new Legacy Pro champion. So, for my fans in New Bern, Tennessee, if you would like to see me or other great superstars from all around, I do believe February 20th is where it's at in New Bern, Tennessee. Come see us at Legacy Pro Wrestling.
Here's the thing, and it just kind of now hit me because I was thinking, well, Biscuit's been a big star in New Bern, a homegrown guy. Galen ran the company in New Bern for several years, star there. But Rocker, you've been there. You've been a star in New Bern. Aaron, I'm assuming you've been a star in New Bern at some point through your career.
I was in New Bern. I wouldn't say I was a star at that point.
But I mean, you've been there. People know who you are there in New Bern specifically. And there's so many other guys that kind of, I would assume there's a lot of guys that cut their teeth right there in New Bern because that company kind of changed. Rocker, you probably know best. I first came along to EIW in 2020. But before that, that company had been owned by different people. Give us a little bit of the lineage of wrestling in New Bern, man.
Well, man, I'll say it like this. It started out as New Blood in New Bern, where that was, I think, Jeremy Moore. He started in that very building, and then it went from New Blood to I really don't remember what it was after that because
was FTW shot in that building?
yes, FTW, yeah. And then right down the road, we started running AWA or AW something. I don't even remember. And then AAW. Thank you, babe. My wife, she just smartened me up to what it was called.
I wonder why.
Right. Yeah. It was AAW. And then Mark and Beth bought it out and they changed it. I had an input in changing the name, so we changed it to EIW. And then after that, we was kind of struggling with, we wanted to run Saturdays. New Bern was running Saturdays. It was kind of like the own little war that nobody ever heard about. And, then when they asked me to book the show for them in Dyersburg, and I was like, okay, I will. And then I actually touched base with Mike Dow and Ricky Hayes and them and said, look, why can't we work together? And ended up forming EIW, and then EIW went to New Bern, and Galen Ray and them bought it. And I think Red owned it at one time before Galen. I think Red owned it and sold it to Galen, if I'm not mistaken.
So New Bern has a long history of pro wrestling and wrestlers being in and around New Bern. I think it's cool that y'all are bringing wrestling back to New Bern because, I mean, I've been to New Bern. There really
Well, I
ain't nothing,
mean,
there ain't nothing to do on a Friday and Saturday night in New Bern, man.
I can take it even further than that, because before any of that ever happened, Don Brassfield and my father used to run the National Guard Armory in New Bern. And that was way back in the day.
Well, we used to KAW used to run the armory in New Bern.
Yep. Yep.
Even before that, Moondog used to bring the show from Osceola to New Bern to the armory
Yep.
on occasion. So New Bern, even before all this, New Bern still had wrestling. I'm assuming Lawler and them probably ran New Bern from time to time. The armory, you
Probably.
would figure.
Yeah.
So Aaron, talk to us about this big ugly cockeyed dude over here that looks so mad, man. Talk to us about that dude. You know anything about that dude, man?
Yeah, I know a few things, man. Like I said, 6'4", 420 pounds, real deal heavyweight. Won championships all everywhere I've ever been. The only Grand Slam champion in Memphis wrestling history. Legacy Pro Tag Team champion currently with the Bull from the Woods, Cordell Roberts, my big brother. Former WWE ID prospect, Dyer County High School graduate, class of 2019. Woody whoop.
So Rocker, no,
Well, let me help you out. Let me help you out right there. You know something that he didn't mention.
he ain't been the Legacy Pro champion, has he?
He has not.
So Rocker, tell us what give us your thoughts on this big cockeyed dude over here with the always got that scowl on his face, man. And remember, he kind of said he hoped Tim Bosby maybe beat you for that title, Rocker.
Well, I'll let him have that pass because I know he sometimes he's been hit on the head a little too hard, and he don't think things through sometimes. So he didn't mean what he said when he said that, but but no, on a real note though, I'm very proud of him, and I've told him that, because he's took our legacy to the next level. I remember when I found out that he had the ID deal, I told him, I said, "Congratulations, I'm proud of you." And that man looked me in the face and said, "I'm just trying to keep up with you, Unc." And
Yeah,
I told him, I said, "Bro, you passed me. Just keep doing what you're doing."
right.
And he is.
And I recently seen the match you had with Thrill Billy. Uh, man, I'll be honest with you, he was maybe a slightly taller, but dude, you were the way bigger guy, man, in that ring. Uh, talk to me about that matchup, man. A shot at the NWA World Heavyweight Title. That belt holds a lot of history in the wrestling business. It may be the most coveted history in the wrestling business, that NWA Heavyweight Title.
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible experience. It's opened a lot of doors since then. Solace is, I mean, he's the champ for a reason. He hits really hard. He got me, like I said before, 6'4", 420 pounds, and he took me on a thrill ride. That's not something I'm used to. He beat me that time, but I'm just hoping for in the future I get another shot at that championship.
Well, when it was all said and done, man, y'all were kind of standing in the middle of the ring together.
Yeah, I think we earned each other's respect that night. That
Yeah,
was a fight. That was a war. Not something I'm used to. Usually I can walk into that ring and run somebody down. Silas would not let that happen that time.
well, talk to me about just the weight of going in there and going for that NWA title, because I mean, Race, Flair, the Briscoes. I mean, there's just the list is too long to even start to name of guys who have held that title. I want to say that title goes back to 1905. I could be off a little bit, but I think it goes back to the early 1900s. So, I mean, you've been in there against him. What happens if we see that match again, man? Do you think it'll play out different the second time?
I definitely do. So here's the thing, right? I try not to think too much before matches. I try to just lock in. And there's a reason I've always got that scowl on my face, because I think about everything that makes me angry, everything I hate, everything I need to do. I got to put food on the table for my family. And I get in this zone. I don't think about the implications of what I'm walking into. But that day I couldn't get over it. This the NWA World Championship. I think the pressure got to me. I was a little bit nervous. I haven't been nervous in a long time. I think that's maybe what did it, but that's done now. I've done it once before. I'll never have
Right.
those nerves again. It's not going to be the same situation next time we wrestle.
Rocker, talk to me about seeing Aaron in the ring, man. EPW going for that NWA World Heavyweight title, man.
Well, man, I honestly, I saw just brief little bit of it, and it gave me a happy moment because we may not always see eye to eye, but we're still family.
Right.
And like I said once, and I say it 1,000 times, we've named it Legacy Pro for a reason. And just a couple weeks ago, maybe not even a couple weeks ago, maybe last week, I looked Aaron dead in the face and I said, "So when are you going to go to TNA, or when are you going to go to Ring of Honor, or when are you going to, reach out to AEW and all those guys?" I mean, because I think that he can, hold his own with any of those guys that are on TV right now.
Right.
And, I just think that, he needs to hammer out like he's been doing and just keep doing what he's doing, because he's making, he's making a name for himself. So, and not only is, he making a name for himself, but he's, like he said earlier, he's getting out from under the shadow of me and his father.
Right. So Aaron, he just named off several promotions, man. I mean, talk to me about that. Is there anything in the works, or even in just your mind? What do you think your next move is as far as that goes? Maybe going off to another company.
Yeah, obviously I'd love to do all those things. Every one of them. I'm not trying to get on those shows,
Right.
Whatever whichever door opens, whether it's TNA, MLW, ROH, AEW, even back to WWE. That's my first stream, of course, obviously. But, that's not the end all be all anymore. Wrestling's
Right.
grown so much. So, really for me right now, I've kind of taken not a step back, but I've kind of shifted focus this year. I've got another kid on the way. So right now I'm kind of not. I'm focusing on family for right now.
Right.
I'm not letting anything slip. I'm not letting anything go that I've already got. But in a year, it's gonna be back to gear.
Right. Here's the thing. They didn't choose you for that ID deal for no reason. They seen something in you that they seen something there. And I think I even sent you a message kind of after the news that you'd been released, that, hey, don't forget who you are, because just because it didn't work out this time, that don't mean another year from now the WWE won't come right back calling, and this time you'll be in a little better place than you was last time. I can guarantee you that. So look, guys, we got Dylan Blake and we got Bud. So look,
Bud.
Dylan Blake has got a promo. So let's talk about him first. Dylan Blake, man, I first noticed this guy from UCW, Union City Wrestling. Talk to me about Dylan Blake and how he ended up on this card, man, and why.
Dylan's a guy. So the original UCW, back whenever it was Becky Byro, or whatever her last name is now, Becky, Sarge, my dad. Dylan came and trained with us there, and that's where he broke into. But he's always been a Union City guy ever since then. You don't see Dylan get out of Union City very much. With UCW, kind of being in the position it's in now, we finally talked him into coming. Dylan's very talented. Dylan has always been very talented, but he's been kind of held down. Not forcefully, I think it was by choice.
Right.
But I think now he's ready to break out of that shell.
Yeah, I like I said, he really first jumped on my radar probably I don't know, probably maybe not even a year ago, 7, 8 months ago. But I've been impressed with everything I've seen from Dylan. I got to call a few of his matches for the UWA, and I mean, he's a talented young guy. I don't know how old he is, but I'm assuming he's probably mid-20s at the oldest. Is he that old?
Maybe late 20s.
Late 20s? So he's a little older than I thought, but I've been impressed with him, what I've seen of him. He sent in a promo. Let's check it out, and then let's get Rocker to comment before Rocker starts snoring on us. I can see
Oh no, I
kick
just
back.
no, I just had to move because my wife just told me, "Hey, your phone's got 5% battery life," and so I had to move over here to plug it up.
She actually told him, man, that glare from your head's killing us in here, man. You need to move.
Pro Wrestling, let me introduce myself. My name is Dylan Blake, and I'm the captain of this ship. So if you want a sinking ship like the Titanic, or you want to sail the seven seas, I suggest that you entrust yourself with the captain of this ship. I am the future that you have been looking for. I'm the future of professional wrestling as a whole. I am the future of Legacy Pro Wrestling. Remember my name, the Captain, Dylan Blake. I see you guys in February. Be ready.
Rocker, now I don't really know if that was a promo or that was an obscene phone call that we just happened to catch on video with all that heavy breathing. But what do you know? What do you know about Dylan, Rocker?
Well, first I would say is somebody may need to give him an inhaler or something. I
Very
mean,
angry.
he seemed angry, he seemed upset for no reason. I mean, but I've heard good things about him, man. And I'll tell you, Buster, one of the things about me is I don't follow a lot of the guys, so I don't know a lot about them, but I've heard things about them, and what I've heard has been good. So I like the energy. I like all of these guys that we have coming in. That's gonna, oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. 7 o'clock Friday night, we'll find out if they're all talk or if they just really gonna do what they're gonna do.
Right.
I'm
You got
excited, man. Dylan Blake and Marco Harris is gonna tear it down.
And that's another thing that and I keep going back to this, but that's another thing that's going to make me work even harder because I know those guys are going to get out there and show out. So I have to get out there and show out. I have to steal the show. The show has to be mine. And for me to do that, I got to come 150% or 200%. And you can bet that I'm going to do it because I have something to prove.
Yeah, I feel like you're in the crosshairs of a lot of these young guys, man, holding that Legacy Pro heavyweight title. I mean, it makes you the number one suspect, dude. Everybody wants to get at Rocker before it's all said and done. And y'all got a roster of young, talented guys on this show, all of them.
Right. And, not only do they have the talent, but a lot of these guys have the want. They want it. They don't want to just, they know that nothing's going to be handed to them. So that makes guys like me and Sarge and Red and Dale, that makes us have to be on our A game or we'll be left behind. And I can't speak for, Red and Sarge and Dale, but I don't get left behind.
Right.
I don't. I mean, I've never been one that sets back and says, "Go, I'll catch up later." No, I'm going to lead the pack, and that's why I'm still the legacy heavyweight champion.
So let's talk about Eric Montrell, or better known to us, Bud. So Bud, him and JT. All right, let me ask you guys this. I meant to ask JT on the podcast, but we never really got around to talking about Bud. Jabari, that's so hard. That's the first thing I did when I got him on live. We started talking. First thing I did was call him JT. I had to stop right then. That's so hard, man. I'm so used to him being JT. But let's talk about Bud. Are these guys brothers or cousins?
They're cousins,
Okay.
but I think they were pretty much raised like brothers.
And look, I first met Jabari in 2020 at EIW. Like I said on the podcast, he would be cleaning up, setting up chairs, sweeping the floors, whatever needed to be done to kind of get in the ring and practice a little bit. But Eric Montrell was right there with him. These two guys cleaning up, doing whatever they needed to do for the company to get in the ring and train some. Bud finally starting to put on some size, finally starting to put some height on. I seen him for the first time in person at the benefit show in Trenton back a couple of months ago, and I was glad to see he's finally starting to put on some height and stuff. He's another guy just like Jabari. Bud's really good in the ring already.
Bud has been around for a long time. I mean, he was a referee for so many, probably some of the best matches that the area have seen in a long time. So he's had the best seat in the house to learn from all those guys. Not to mention the time he spent training with, myself and Zay when we were running the school. You know, that's kind of what pushed him into finally getting started. I think was being in the ring, realizing, oh wow, I can hang with Jabari, I can hang with Ty, I can hang with Preston. Maybe I should think about this seriously.
Right. The biggest thing I was always worried about with him was I was scared he wasn't gonna. I was scared he's gonna be a short guy. I mean, he's a slim guy, but how old is Bud? Man, he can't be. He's younger than Jabari. So how do you figure Bud really?
I mean, he's a little under 18. I think he may be 17, about to turn 18.
So he's still got time to grow. He's still got
Yeah.
time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And like I said, he'd put on a lot of height, man. I was glad to see it because I mean we've seen Bud in the ring even a couple years ago, and I mean he can do everything in the ring, but he kind of just looked a little out of place because of his size, because of his height. But now, man, I've seen him. I think I've seen him one time, maybe somewhere work, and it's a whole different dynamic now that he's put on a little height. Man, it don't draw your attention away from how good he actually is in the ring.
Right. I mean, and the thing is like I said earlier, I don't follow a lot of these guys. I have watched a couple of his matches because he's had matches with Preston. And, of course, even though I don't agree with Preston's attitude, I'm still going to watch his matches because he's my son.
Right.
But they've had really good matches. And both of those kids get out there, and I can call them kids because they're kids, but they get out there and they go and they want to make sure that, hey, y'all watch because we're coming.
Yeah, man. He's a talented young man in the ring. I mean, here's the thing. When I first seen them, first time I ever seen them get in the ring and train a little bit, they were already doing stuff that you wouldn't figure guys that young and that new to the business could do, and they were already looking good. From the first time I seen Jabari and Bud in the ring working out, they looked like they had been in the ring more than they actually had.
Yeah, and yeah, they're natural, and I have fun with those guys every time I see them in the locker rooms because like I'll grab them in some kind of hold that they don't even know what it is, and they're like, "What is that?" And I'll call it off to them. They're like, "Well, I've never seen anybody do." And I'm like, it's a difference in wrestling nowadays and what it was when I was getting into business. I said, but you guys will learn it. You'll learn it.
Aaron, you got anything to add to about Bud?
Yeah, I mean Eric Montrell, he's trying to make his way. I try not to call him Bud because I know he, trying to get away from that identity. But he's doing the same thing that everybody needs to be doing, just trying to get the reps and get better. Rocker mentioned that the matches he's had with Preston, that's what got him this opportunity on Legacy Pro, just knowing that, he could do that. We did the powers that be did decide that he and Jabari will take on the Holler Boys. It doesn't seem like they're very happy about that. We'll see how that plays out. Very different dynamic between the two of them. But I thought the history there between them for me, being in New Bern, those guys were in the crowd whenever I was starting out there.
Right.
We would do kids camps and they would be in my class. Like, what? That's crazy. But now, now's my chance to look at the people that are growing up. I was always the young kid. Now I get to look at them and be like, oh, I remember when you were just a boy.
And you what? What are you, Aaron? 25 now? Are you even 25
Yeah, I'll be
yet?
25 in May.
All right. So look, let's talk about Ricky Hayes and Tim Davis. Y'all are pulling at New Bern's heartstrings with these two guys coming in. So I don't care who starts, whoever. Tell me about how bringing these two guys in for a special appearance came about.
Well, I think really, I think Red is the one that pulled the trigger on that. He, messaged me and said, "Hey, what do you think about Ricky?" And actually, at first, it was Ricky and Mike that actually went as the Dazzlers,
Right.
and I think Mike Dow actually lives in like East Tennessee or something. So he like way off or something. But next thing I know, it's an all gold deal, and Ricky and Tim, legends in the Newbern area. I mean,
Obviously, Ricky's the dad of Eric Hayes and Chris Hayes. I think everybody, especially right around here right now, knows who Chris Hayes is or was. Well, he's kind of disappeared from the business the last couple of years, but I mean, a wrestling family and Tim Davis, man, Tim Davis can get heat. I mean, he can get heat. He can run his mouth and get heat, man.
he can do either. He can do either way, man. He's one of those guys that I'm not gonna say his wrestling ability was the greatest, but his managing skills were off the chart because he could either be on the good side and get you plenty of cheers, or he could be on the bad side and get you plenty of heat.
Right. Aaron, what do you got to say about these two guys? I'm assuming you watched a lot of these two guys growing up.
Yeah, I mean, Dad wasn't really there for LAW like that. That's kind of he would pop into there, but that was kind of around the time that he was focused on UCW at the time. So I obviously knew these guys, and if more so knew them as the promoters of LAW, and watched that stuff that they went there, and they told so many incredible stories that same building that had ran for so long was packing out each and every week. That when it came time to figure out, hey, what are some of the big guns we can call on? It was pretty simple to call Ricky Hayes and Tim Davis.
Yeah, I think it's a smart move, especially right there in New Bern. I think you're gonna draw in some fans, some older fans that you maybe not would have drawn in before. You know what I mean?
I
Yeah,
agree.
that's what I was mentioning earlier when we were trying to reach out to the lapsed fans. The fans that haven't been to wrestling in a long time. By putting out some of those familiar faces like Ricky Hayes, Tim Davis, Big Red, Del Tucker, Chris Rocker, the old timers.
Hey, hey, hey.
You sideways again, Aaron. Every time I pull you
Every time
out
you
or what,
change the format of what we got going on, I flip all over the place.
dude, I've seen it every time I've switched from graphic to graphic. I've
Yeah.
seen you twisting around. So this Friday night, February 20th, it's going to be, hold on, I got my notes right here. It's Fight for the Light. It's going to
Yes,
be at
sir.
the Lighthouse First Assembly of God Church right there in New Bern. So talk to us. Tell us the particulars. I don't care who does it. Tell us the when, the where, the how much, and everything.
Well, we have very limited front row seats, and if I'm not mistaken, they're getting almost sold out. And like you said, it's at Lighthouse First Assembly of God, 900 William Street, New Bern, Tennessee. Starts at 8 o'clock. Doors open up at 6:37. Around in there like always, all shows, and we're gonna have a whole lot of fun. There's a whole lot of great guys on this show, and there's going to be some great food there too. And the best thing about it is all the proceeds goes back to the church, back to the community. So
Yeah,
it's a win. It's a win-win for everyone.
yeah, that's a really cool deal right there, man. That's a cool deal. That's the
I look
Lord.
at the
He's got his
wrestling.
hand right on your head, Rocker.
Right, right.
That's a lot of head to grab. I look at the wrestling. I'm so excited about the wrestling. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 incredible matches. Main event:
Right.
Chris Rocker versus Tim Bosby. We start the show hot with the Legacy Gauntlet. Tag team titles on the line. Dylan Blake versus Marco Harris. Del Tucker, Big Red. Jesus, you can name the people that are going to be there. Sarge O'Reilly's going to be there. New Bern legend. Ricky Hayes, Tim Davis, as we just talked about. It's a stacked lineup. I also heard this past Sunday from another legend in New Bern who may be popping in. May see Derek King pop in.
Oh,
Maybe.
might see DK. Who knows, man? Cordell just popped in and said food. That's all he said. So I think that's his focus is his food coming up Friday night, man. You know, great. Go ahead,
It's gonna be a lot of fun, guys. I mean, I'm excited, and it's been a long time since I've been really excited about a show. I mean, don't get me wrong, I get excited every time I go to a show, but really excited. And I don't know if it's because I'm going to get pushed to the limit this Friday night, or if I get to see some of the guys that I haven't seen in a long time. So now my next question is, Buster, are you going to be there?
Man, I do not know right off. I got to talk to the boss around the house and make sure I ain't got nothing planned, man. But you heard that right. I got to talk to the boss and make sure I ain't got nothing planned for Friday, dude. Hey, I went to New Bern every Saturday, or it was Saturday at the time. Every Saturday until they moved to Trenton, and then went there for a year or so. So, man, it'd be cool to come to New Bern, man. It'd really be cool. I had to put a muzzle on. You know me, Rocker. Y'all get me fired up. I'll be shooting exploits out. That'd be exercising me. You know what I mean?
Right. And and I don't know, a lot of people may not even care, but I'm gonna throw this out there anyway because I think it's pretty awesome. The pastor's daughter, she's like what, 8? 9. She's 9 years old, and she's gonna sing the national anthem to open the show up for us.
No, that's cool.
And it's gonna be awesome. I mean, it's gonna be awesome all the way around. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how everything works out for you guys. Me and Aaron kind of touched on it for a second. I mean, are you looking to do this thing as a once a year thing, or you think maybe we might see it more than that, Rocker?
I've talked to the church and talked to the pastor, and we're in negotiations of trying to do it once a month. And I will tell you this, and I'm not going to say what, but Legacy Pro's got a lot of big plans, and we've got a lot of big surprises coming soon, very soon.
Cordell, I appreciate that, man. Said there's always an open invitation for Buster H.R. Johnson, man. Y'all don't know how much I appreciate that. Guys, I want to thank you so much for coming on here. I've enjoyed it, man. We've run through this card. I'm glad to see Legacy Pro back in business. Glad to see y'all doing shows, man. It's been a little void around here since y'all stopped doing shows. Glad to see y'all are back up, and I'm hoping to see more shows in the future, y'all.
Yeah, it's coming.
All right, Rocker.
More shows in the future.
I'm gonna pull you down first. Thank you for coming on.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Have a great night. Aaron, same to you, man. Thank you for coming on, and have a great night, dude.
Thanks, Buster.
All right, y'all. You seen it right there. Legacy Pro this Friday night, February 20th. Fight for the Light. Lighthouse First Assembly, First Assembly of God Church right there in New Bern, Tennessee. Go check this show out. Go support this show. It's to help the church. It's going to be a good cause. It's going to be a good time. You do not want to miss it. I will be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. with Cade Allen. He's an out-of-control wrestling guy. I've known this guy, this young man, since he was a teenager, maybe even a little earlier than that. I've known this young man since 2006. I'm anxious to chop it up with him tomorrow night. It's going to be another good one. I appreciate everybody who tuned in, everybody who commented, everybody who interacted with us. Until tomorrow night, y'all take.
When you hear that Buster H.R. Oh, man, it's about to go down. You feel the tension in the air. Wrestling fans all over the world, get ready for this right here. They're gonna have a field day with this one. You're about to witness Buster Unmasked. There's no telling what Buster's gonna say today. We just getting started. Just getting started! Welcome to Buster Unmasked! Hosted by Buster HR